What's up guys, Nimbuskid back here with another video, and today I'm making an honest review about the game Ghosts of Tabor, and what I really think about it, because this game has never really been worth anybody buying, and I'll give some of my points why, and I'll counter some of my points during this video. So the first thing I want to point out is the PvP, which I think is the one aspect of the game which anybody would buy the game for, and it's easily one of the worst aspects of it. And the first thing I want to point out about the PvP is most of the time you'll be fighting people, which this isn't an over-exaggeration, who have literally nothing else to do in their life but play the game. And this is true for most games you'll ever play. You'll meet people who literally don't do anything else. But this game is infested by these kinds of players, and I don't know why. I don't understand how people like this exist, but they will wipe lobbies easily, which means just kill everybody there with no thought in their mind and not even give you a chance to fight back. Like, the wipe for the game just happened today when I was recording this, and I already have fought people who have stuff you're not even supposed to get your hands on until the end of the wipe. Now, if you don't know what that means, a wipe is basically every few months the game will get reset. So, if you want to fight people who don't have anything else to do with their life and you want to die constantly, go ahead and buy this game. So, if you don't have infinite time like they do, like I just said, don't buy it. The next thing I want to talk about is how people will tell you the gun balancing in this game is really good. And the customization is amazing. And I want to immediately counter that with the game Contractors Exfil Zone, because the game hasn't even been out, has only been out for a year now, while Ghost has been out for almost 4, I believe. I'm not sure because I don't care. But Contractors, alright, no, I want to talk about this game's customization first. The game's customization is very basic. It feels like an arcade shooter's way of letting you customize your guns, or like a COD way of letting you customize your guns, but you can't customize anything but the attachments. And yes, you can customize your weapons really well. That doesn't mean anything though, because if you don't have the best of the best, you will die constantly because of your gun's recoil being unrealistic, which this game is terrible at because this game's unrealistic as hell. Because yes, you should definitely be able to find armor-piercing bullets in a box in the middle of nowhere. Is the only thing you can really do to be able to use any of the weapons in this game is you have to put the best of the best grip and the best sights and the best silencers in the game on your gun, and you'll most likely lose anyways because of, yes, the people who don't play anything but this game. And also, another thing I want to talk about is the gun balancing and the guns themselves, not the attachments being terribly designed. And most of the guns in this game that aren't assault rifles suck terribly, which sounds like, oh, I don't want to use anything but assault rifles, which is what most little kids would say. Not trying to be mean or anything, but that's the only good guns in this game are assault rifles. I.e., I want to explain the P90, which is the most expensive SMG in the game, has some of the worst recoil. And think about that for a second. Why would an SMG have that much recoil in the first place? If you've played the game for yourself, you would know. Same thing with the MP7, which is another SMG that is very high level and very expensive. And some of the snipers in this game suck, like the M1A semi-automatic sniper system, which is M1 SAS, which gets overshadowed by their fully automatic counterparts like the FAL, which shouldn't even be customizable in the first place because it's an FAL, and the AK Alpha, which goes fully automatic, no recoil, with the best attachments only, actually. And it shoots 7.62, and it can take drum mags. So again, attachments being the best of the best, you always want to fight, or you always lose a fight because of the players. And one of the biggest gripes I have with this game is how buggy it truly is, and how people understate, especially the lasers of this game, how buggy it really is. There have been bugs that are in the game still that will just have you die out of nowhere. Or you can just lose all your stuff as soon as you load into a raid, which is not good at all because you worked your ass off for it if you're even still playing. And I'm not over exaggerating when every time this game updates, they manage to fuck something up beyond belief. And you can ask anybody who isn't a glazer but still plays the game, yes, this game has too many bugs that are too game breaking. And they have made glitches where revolvers can shoot all 6 bullets at once and instant kill somebody. There have been bugs where people's grips will fly off the gun and the gun becomes unusable. Things with like that kind of nature can absolutely ruin a game, and that's another thing that sucks about the game is people still will tell you it's one of the best VR games ever when in reality the devs are overworked, probably underpaid, and don't get enough time to finish the updates because they never push them back. Now when a game is going to get an update and they say we have to push it back because of some issues, yeah, it's annoying at first, but until you realize when the update comes out, it's like, yeah, that would have been an issue if that was buggy. Because this is what this game does, it doesn't ever push back updates. And that's truly a bad thing, because that puts a lot of bugs in the game. And I mean a lot. And the next thing I want to talk about is the maps and how bad they are. So in the current state of the game, there are 5 maps. And the main two of them I want to talk about mainly, but I'll bring up all 5 because all 5 of them suck terribly. Matka Miast is a city map in the game where you can run around like, a city. But the map is so, like, underdeveloped where you can't enter buildings and you can't really do much there. There's just cars out in the open. If you get caught out in the open running across a road, which you kind of need to do a lot, you're basically fried. You will die. There's nothing you can do. And that's a big issue, mainly just because if you want a game to have good combat, you want to have a lot of cover. You don't want there to be a lot of camping, which is another issue in this game I'll bring up in a second. You want there to be a lot of fair fights, where people who usually have better gear will win, no matter how bad they are, because that's how the game is. It's a lot more luck-based than skill-based, but it very much is that there are still people who make the game unbearable to play just because they won't ever hop off the game. And I know people who play this game too much will say, skill issue, you suck, twin. The thing is, I'm not a bad VR shooter player, and I can tell when a shooter game's terrible. I've played competitive VR shooters before, like Pavlov, I used to. That game's guns feel way better than these ones. And that's another thing I want to bring up as well. The realism in this game, which people praise so much, is not realistic at all. These guns don't feel like real guns. They have unrealistic recoil. Like the M4 in this game will just go all over the place when in reality it shouldn't have that much recoil at all. It doesn't matter what you do, you will always die if you're a solo player, which is another thing I have an issue with. Because there are too many scavengers, which are the bots in this game, that have really good aim. They will just immediately kill you if they overrun you. It's happened to me so many times already. And a bad thing about VR and games in the first place, if you're a solo player on one of these kinds of games, you can't do much about it when there's a 3 stack of players who are overgeared and never get off. And that's where I want to bring up another map, which is called Matka Underground, which is an underground sewer system where you have half of one of the most important traders in the game. You have most of their missions are on this terrible map where you can just run into people constantly out of nowhere, or you can just find a dude sitting in a corner and they'll kill you, because that's most of the map is just corners. And that's terrible because they could have thought more about not using what is it called, like Unity thing, like free templates for the game, because I already have noticed that they use a lot of free templates in their game. I don't know if I already brought this up, but the owner of the game, if you want a game to do good, you need a good, competent owner of the game or a good, competent amount of players, but I think I already brought this up. And now I want to bring up a different game that is the direct competition of Ghosts of Tabor right now, which really filled a gap in the market for me because Tabor is... Here, this is just from personal opinion. This game really just made me mad all the time. If you don't... You'll not have fun playing it. And it might be fun in the first few hours, like before you can refund, but if you don't get the refund, you will start seeing why the game is not fun, and some people don't like it, especially people with brain cells. And that's where I want to bring up Contractor's Exfil Zone as the direct competition to the game. Now, Contractor's Exfil Zone, now I know all you Tabor gamers, listen up. Just have an open mind for once, quit being a rabid dog that this community really truly is most of the time. Or, a toddler, because baby likes what baby likes, I guess. They don't change their minds. Contractors does everything that Ghosts of Tabor really does better.
Battery 15%.
Oh my god, Oculus, shut up. Alright. Contractor's Exfil Zone does everything that Tabor does wrong, correctly. i.e., I'm going to say most, because this game does have its own downsides. And I want you guys to realize something. I did not say a single positive thing about Ghosts of Tabor because it's not good. I'm being so serious when I say this. There's not one single reason that it's worth playing for. So don't buy it while you have a chance. And if you hear other people saying good things about it, first off, it's an opinion. Second off, just please believe me. I don't like this game at all. And it's probably the only VR game that I'll probably never play again. Because it's just that bad. I've made videos on it before. It's just because I wanted to play the game again before it wiped. Just wanted to give it another chance. And every time I give this damn game another chance, it's terrible. Again, I'm just going to bring up Contractors. Game's had about 3 wipes now. Every wipe has been absolute cinema. And the second wipe, when I was talking about earlier how they never push back their updates, Ghosts, Con had pushed back their second wipe for almost a month because it was that buggy. And I was mad at the time. It was like, damn, why don't these wipe already? Because they kept on having to push it back. But when they put out this update, they completely rivaled Tabor in every way possible. Now, if you're the creative type like I am, you're going to love this game because there's a complete gunsmithing system where you can make your own gun however you want. You can add your own barrel, you can add your own stock, you can add your own pistol grip, whatever you want to do with it. There's more attachments in this game. You don't need the best of the best attachments or best of the best guns to want to fight. This game's a lot more skill-based. And the other thing that I like about this game is most of the players who are on it are not 16-year-old teenagers who have nothing to do with their lives, i.e. me. But I'm not a sweat because I have other games I want to play and make videos on. But most of the people who play this game are employed dads who have nothing else to do to play when they have their off time. So usually you'll have fair fights in this game. The other thing is this game's not pay to win like Tabor is. There's like 30 DLCs for Tabor that just give you free guns every wipe and things like that. This game only has one DLC, and it's just because I feel like they needed to get money out of it. Tabor has like 60 developers, and I don't know why you need 60 developers and the game's still that bad. Now Con's about to wipe soon, and I'm not sure how well it's gonna do, but we'll see afterwards. But as far as I know, they're adding some new weapons. But like I was saying, more customization with your guns. You don't need the best of the best stuff to always win because there isn't a best of the best. It's truly playstyle based, skill based. The decisions you make in this game are super important. The boss fights and the guns feel really good in this game. Like the Vector, which is one of the worst guns in Tabor, feel amazing in this game, especially if you're the guy who likes to be aggressive like me. You'll love the SMGs in this game. I'd say mostly the Vector, the MP5, both of those guns feel really good. And they're super customizable. Well, not the Vector, but most of the other weapons, because the Vector just came out, so there's not a lot to do with it. But at the moment, the NPCs and Tabor's NPCs feel about the same, except for the bosses that have a lot better AI and actually act like they're trying to survive instead of just standing there and wailing their gun around like they would in Tabor. Because all of Tabor's bosses, all they got going for them is they have ridiculously overpowered weapons that will two-tap you if you have the IQ of a dead cockroach. And one main thing I want to bring up between PvP before I get into that in this game, besides what I've already said, is that in Tabor, the game is hit scan. And for those of you who do not know what that means, you can aim your gun at somebody from 1,000 meters, and as soon as you shoot, it will connect if it's on them. You don't have to pre-fire, you don't have to shoot your gun in front of them. And that's what I mean by the game's not realistic at all. Because you can just get headshotted from across the map like that because of how the game is. While in Con, it takes a lot more skill to use the bullets, and all the bullets in the game have different properties. Like some do more damage to flesh, others do more damage through armor, but will get reduced because armor has reduced the damage depending on whatever bullet's getting pierced by. So basically the game's a lot more in depth with its ammo, armor, and gun system, which some people see as a bad thing. I see that's a good thing because that means that, to me, that the 4 people who are developing this game really, really care about what they're doing and are actually trying to give you the product of Escape from Tarkov in VR, which was the original idea for Ghost, but they're deviating it from it so far to the point where they're just not making it anymore. I don't know what they're doing. Which is never why I bought Ghosts in the first place. I bought Ghosts of Tabor because I wanted to try an extraction shooter. And I had fun with it for like a week. Worst $25 I've ever spent in my life. And I played the game up until when Con came out. And one of my friends bought Contractors for me. I was like, dude, I don't think I'm going to like this game. Tabor feels so fun to play. Until I gave Contractor Showdown a chance, and it was absolute peak. And most of the Tabor players can tell you that Con is worse. I can't play Con. I can't stand that game. And it's because I'm pretty sure it's just because we can't have an open mind when it comes to playing video games. The thing about Con is that the PvP is just balanced. Like, if you're in a close situation and you have an SMG you are more likely to win than the guy with the AR. And instead, like tabor, whoever has the AR that's higher level will always win the fight, no matter how hard you try to beat them, how many times you shoot them, because it's just not balanced. Same thing with like ammo and related things like that. The game's just more in depth, and it has a lot more going on. So you can. It might take longer to learn than tabor, but I feel like it was a lot more worth it for me to put my time in the contractors, because I feel like contractors is going to be the better extraction shooters. Give it a year. Even though tabor is more popular just because it came out sooner than con did. Now, if you guys don't believe me, just before you purchase both of them, go ahead and try tabor first. Give it an hour, refund, try con, and figure out whichever one you like better. I know I didn't give the best reasons why, is because I couldn't figure out what to put down into a document. I just pulled this out of my head. But like I said, I've been playing VR shooters for 4 years now, and this is honestly my honest opinion from somebody who has played both games for the equal amount of time. Well, no matter what I said to you guys, this is Nimbus Kid with his honest review on Ghost of War, and I'm going to tell you, you should probably not buy it. I know it sounds tempting. Your friends may tell you it's super fun, but I'm going to give you this to where we'll put an unbridled rage into you you've probably never felt your entire life. So, knowing that, all of you have a good day, and I hope that you guys actually give contractors a chance, because I really feel like it's the better game here. Other thing is, yeah, just try out Contractors Expo Zone. Anybody who's not played it before, you'll probably have more fun with it. And if I was to give Ghosts of Tabor an honest review from somebody who's played it for 10 months of his life now, and I've actually had the game for like 2 years, but besides that, I would give the game a 2 out of 10 compared to the rest of the VR shooters that have ever been made. And my honest review for most other VR shooters is I would give Pavlov a 9 out of 10. I played it for 4 years now. I still love that game. Contractors Expo Zone, out of all the extraction shooters, which there's only like 3 main ones right now, I'd give it a 9. Not because there's not a better one, it's just because the game's so much more well made than Tabor, and people won't even believe me. Except for the people who have been playing it with me, which are my friends that you usually would see in my contractors videos if I'm not playing by myself. Forefront, I'll give that game probably a 9 as well. That game's really fun, more laid back. Besides that, just try both games, see what works for you. This is Nimbus Kid signing off, and I'll see you another time.